Hello everyone, Science Viking here, and I'm ready to proceed further into the demon ruins. I'm going to keep my bow out because the sword isn't going to do me much good against these guys. Okay, I'm in okay shape for large arrows. I'm going to need arrows against the Centipede Demon too, so I want to conserve them, but there aren't very many enemies yet. Enemies left. Between me and the boss. Did he drop something? Yeah, I don't think these guys actually drop anything. So... unfortunately their AI isn't very smart. Just do this to them. Another soul of a brave warrior. Those are always nice. And I don't, other than to mess with players, I don't get why they would fill their underground city place with statues of themselves. Like, nobody is that narcissistic. Quick look around here before stepping on that platform. Yep, there's nothing here. And if we step on this, it actually takes us up. Quite a ways up. Let's see if we can look directly up to Quaylag's domain. Specifically, right outside of the Fair Lady's Bonfire. I'm not going to bother warping back to Firelink Shrine to get 20 Estus uses, but I am going to level up. Actually, first... no, I'll save reinforcing my weapon for later. And since I only get one, dexterity will still add plenty of damage to my bow, so I'm going to go for dexterity again. There. And run back to the elevator. But yep, now we have a shortcut that allows us to avoid that area full of Capra demons. Of course, since we've rested at a bonfire, all the enemies are alive again. Let's go this way. And you know where we are? We are directly over the boss room where we fought the demon fire sage. And if you look here, we can see a Taurus demon. I could shoot him in the butt if I wanted to. I don't. Instead, I'm going to go back the way we came. The only real purpose of coming up here is that it gives you access to that shortcut. So let's, for the most part, just sprint, and I'm probably going to have to fight a couple of those guys at some point. But I can avoid a lot of them. And the other one. Yeah, my bow's doing a bit more damage. I probably should just switch back to my bolder side sword, but I kinda don't want to bother. And now we're back right outside the Demon Fire Sage's boss room. And now let's see what happens when we go down. And the answer is another bonfire. Can't warp to this one though. Which I'm going to quick rest at and reverse my hollowing. Over humanity and reverse hollowing. And climb down this route here. This is very similar to... actually, let me make sure I didn't miss it. You may notice that this layout is very similar to the... yeah, it's not up there. To the layout of the shortcut to Lost Izalith. which we opened earlier. Alright, let's work our way down here carefully, because falling off will kill you. I'll go back and find out what that treasure was later. And here we have a gold summon sign. I think you know what that means. And yes, directly on the other side of that door, 5 minutes into the video, is the Centipede Demon. This is what I mean about the density of boss fights increasing significantly when we get to Lost Izalith. Well, I'll be back in a moment. I do want to start a fresh recording file for this boss fight, so back in a second. Hello, everyone. Alright, I'm ready to take on the boss. No, this is not my first attempt. There will be outtakes, because this boss is kind of hard. This is another example of one of those where Solaire is generally summonable for the really difficult boss fights, along with Ornstein and Smoke, because this one's actually a pretty tough boss. Also, if you don't do the side quest that I just showed you, this is the last boss you will be able to summon Solaire for. Alright. Fire up Flash Sweat. Get my bow ready. And traverse the white light. Fight against this thing, the Centipede Demon. The biggest problem with this fight is that since the battlefield is mostly filled with lava, there isn't a lot of room to move around. Also, this is one of the bosses that most likes to mess with lock-on distances. So, for instance, I can't stay locked onto him at that range. So there, get out of my way. Alright, while it's performing that attack, I can't damage it for some reason. The bow does do pretty good damage. Okay, when it jumps up like that, it will generally land exactly where it jumped up. Right. Also, Solaire is treated as having the ring that lets you walk in lava. What that means is... What that means this attack. This time it's me getting hit by it. I should survive. What that means is that Solaire takes gradual damage over time whenever he's in contact with lava, but doesn't take very much of it, as opposed to the player who will take rapid damage over time unless they have the Orange Charred Ring. I don't know whether in story, whether you'd say that for story purposes Solaire has the Orange Charred Ring that's just helping us, or whether that's purely a gameplay thing to make the fight more balanced, because Solaire's AI isn't very good at avoiding lava. And that's that. Centipede Demon is down. Solaire even survived. Orange Charred Ring, and... grab my bloodstain. It doesn't actually contain anything. Humanity, a homeward bone, and a sunlight medal. And 40,000 souls. Alright. Actually, let's check. Let's look at the Orange Charred Ring a bit. Just reduces lava damage. What that means is it actually reduces it to the point where it's pretty manageable. Your health will drain continuously as you walk over the lava, but not very much. And we can explore this area a bit. You generally want to splint across the lava. And I believe there's some treasure you can find in here. I still have 7 Estus flasks, so I can heal myself from any damage I take. But yeah, that's a very short fight. It's a very frantic fight. If you survive, it will tend to be over fairly quickly. But, well, really, no matter what, it will tend to be over fairly quickly, whether you live or die. part of the reason for this, I think, is that to balance the difficulty of fighting the Centipede Demon, they didn't give it very much health. So, the idea is it has this huge lava stage to take advantage of, which can really seriously mess you up. And to cancel that effect out, it doesn't have very much health. So, it is an interesting fight, and it is one of the more interesting boss demons, but it also can be pretty tough. And here's Solaire.
Why? Why? After all this searching, I still cannot find it. Why?
Oh, that's all he has to say.
Searching?
Like this bonfire. Yeah, I'm not going to be done quite yet. I don't want to make this video quite that short, so I'm going to fully get us into Lost Izalith. After all, any length that I can shave off of the Bed of Chaos video is going to be helpful, because I'm going to die quite a few times in that fight. And now we are in Lost Izalith the normal way, and I hope you're seeing why it was important for us to get the Orange Charred Ring. I can climb this. I know that I can climb it. I'm going to climb it. What died? Just quick get some souls. Soul of a brave warrior. Guess a brave warrior who didn't have the Orange Charred Ring. Yeah, even though you can survive being on lava for a fair amount of time, you still mostly want to avoid it. Just because you don't want to be taking damage over time. And as you can see, the majority of the routes you'll actually have to take don't require you to be on lava for very long at all. And up there, you can see the area that we actually go through, that we were in before, that is where the Bed of Chaos actually is. Alright, that's not a fake wall. There is a bonfire in this area, which is what I'm looking for. Because I want to rest there. Whoa. Don't want to get the attention of the giant, whatever they're doing. Curse you. Fortunately, it doesn't have that much health, at least if you have a good bow. But yeah, there's a reason why I generally... Whoa! There's a reason why I generally don't want to fight these things. I'm dead. Back in a second. Alright, I'm back where I was. Now, I'm going to go... Now I'm going to go this way and climb up here. And avoid fighting the giant dinosaur monster. They give a decent number of souls, but they are really just not worth fighting. So I really do recommend just avoiding them. And first up here, I'm going to get this piece of loot. Twin Humanities, that's always nice. Look around up here to make sure there's no other loot. fall down, mostly unintentionally. And look around down here. And quick kill these guys. Great, another one of these. Yeah, I kind of dislike fighting these guys. There. Fortunately, they stop being aggressive to you relatively quickly after you get away from them. Now let's use the high ground to see a little bit. Over there is the area that we can climb up to reach the inside of Lost Izalith. I'm fairly certain these roots are actually part of the Bed of Chaos. That is, that they're a part of its body. Alright. So let's look around. I'm fairly certain that there is a bonfire around here. But it's seeming like I was just wrong. So, instead, let's go this way. Just ignore the giant dinosaur monster and sprint for Lost Izalith. And a sudden change in the color saturation. And here we are. And this is the area where we will find the Bed of Chaos. Well, that's going to be the end for this part. I want the Bed of Chaos to have its own video. So, with that, as usual, I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Cue boss cutscene. Yep, this is the Centipede Demon. Yeah, it's not a demonic centipede, it is a demon made out of centipedes. And we need to kill it. And yeah, that lava's an instant kill. So yes, we need to fight an entire boss fight on top of instant kill lava. Defeating the boss, ironically, gives us the Orange Charred Ring, which makes lava no longer an instant kill, which we need in order to reach the Bed of Chaos. Now, Solaire is treated as if he has the Orange Charred Ring for the purposes of this fight. He will not take damage. He will take damage, but like I said, he's treated as though he has the Orange Charred Ring for the purposes of this fight. Now, it would really be nice if Solaire would actually help fight the Centipede Demon instead of just kind of standing there staring at me. Okay, thanks Solaire, thanks for taking one for the team there. So, if Solaire wanders onto the lava, he'll take continuous damage over time, but he won't take very much. Whereas if we wind up on the lava, we take serious damage. Now, it's possible to get the Orange Charred Ring partway through the boss fight by damaging a particular part of the boss's body, but it's very difficult to do. So, you generally just have to live without it, and also live without camera controls. You generally just have to live without the Orange Charred Ring for this fight. Fortunately, the boss will give you plenty of opportunity to attack it, even if you're a purely melee character. Okay, Centipede Demon, you really should be taking damage when I hit you. Whoa. That can happen, though. The boss, you'll get plenty of opportunities to damage the Centipede Demon without actually having to walk onto the lava. It's perfectly happy to stay right up next to you. I prefer to use a bow for this fight, both because this particular character uses Krillag's Fury Sword, which does mostly fire damage, and you probably won't be surprised to note, this thing is quite resistant to fire. Odds of Solaire surviving don't seem very good. Odds of me surviving, however, seem alright. Yep, Solaire's down, which means we won't be getting a sunlight medal for this thing. It doesn't matter a whole lot, though. Basically, if any Warrior of Sunlight is present, everybody, including the Warrior of Sunlight, gets one sunlight medal. You do not get extra sunlight medals if more than one Warrior of Sunlight is there. And that's the end of that attempt. Almost had him. Well, that was a no take. Mostly dodge and then just pelt this thing with arrows. What was that? A death, that's what it was.